breathe, eat, shit, piss, real estate, and you do that every day, you're actually putting a structure within yourself to brainwash you. By the time you decide to go in business with yourself, whether if it's real estate or whatever, don't expect to even have a balanced life. I don't have a spending problem. I have a money-making problem. And say if you finish all those goals, you'll feel good about yourself once you start drinking or you start smoking weed, wherever the fuck you do.
Like 5 figures, 6 figure,
7? It's $1 million. I do everything like it is my own destiny because I make my own destiny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Garcia, while we're trying to figure out who is in your field, what are they like, and ultimately what makes them so special. Today we are joined by Mr. Bryan Gayden from the Gayden team. Yes, sir. So he's specializing in real estate here in Houston, in the heart of Houston, Texas. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. So I just want to start off with like your beginning, right? Everybody knows that when you hop into a field, you have to look at something that first sparked that interest, right? And so for you, where would you say, like maybe when you were a kid or maybe even mid-teen, that you knew you wanted to go into real estate?
So as far as everything else goes, as like career-wise, just what to select, saw my family. They did nothing but real estate. Breathe, eat, shit, piss, real estate. So therefore, I just really kept an eye on what they were doing. And especially coming from a family that always told me to go to college, do the old traditional way. Although I just saw the money that my family was bringing. It's like while I was going to high school, like by the time I was 15, 16 years old, that's really when I caught on. I was like, all this shit's a scam. The best thing ever is really just to go in business for yourself. And since I already had a foundation built for me, thought to take advantage of that. And whoever is out there that is with a family that already has a foundation built for you, put your ego to the side, go with the foundation of your family, what they're providing already.
Yes.
And, just go with it, I see a lot of younger fellas looking at their family when they're already in business, like, oh, I don't want to do what my mom does, don't want to do what my dad does, because we're born with the ego. So with that being said, put your ego down, just go with the foundation that's already built for you, or at least halfway built, and you'll do way better than anybody else that doesn't have a foundation for them that is built.
For sure. And so I think it's like very important, like finding like the root of where you fell in love with it, because like even like the other week you saw LeBron James, like he was down 3-0 and he was like, it's just basketball.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just basketball, right? So he had to like make that realization of that, like we all have those moments, where it's just a job. It's not that deep, and figuring out where you fell in love with it, right? And
yeah.
So, I like that, getting rid of your ego. A lot of people, I know some friends that, their parents are successful, and I used to tell them, like, you should follow in the footsteps of your parents. You've already had it built for you.
Yeah, it's the lane's already built up for you.
Right.
Like,
no need to reinvent the spinning wheel.
Yeah, why the hell do you want to do business management or some other bullshit like that? Just take the family's business and take it 10x that shit, man.
Right. So for those, the newbie agents and stuff like that, going into real estate, maybe they don't have parents or stuff like that. They can often feel times of, being overwhelmed or not knowing where to start, and then being overloaded with so much information. So what would you say, or some advice for those people that are just starting out, they don't have their parents, and they're trying to get in the real estate game?
So your best bet, your best friend actually, hit the damn Google button. Google who is the top realtors in the Houston area. All right, you see the top realtors, reach out to those top realtors in the Houston area, contact them, make rapport with them, be friends with them, do whatever. Be their bitch forever you got to do. Like, just meet them. You have to meet them. And when you meet them, that's when you get the sauce. And once you get the sauce, you're good after that. So actually, it doesn't even really matter where you came from or who you are. It's just about getting in front of the right people. and you'll get in front of the right people if you can just use common sense, put in the Google button, see the top realtors or the top people in any industry. Next thing you know, you're going to do perfect once you get connected with those people. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel or do anything like that. You're just trying to copy and paste and just get the information they got and just get connected with them, and you'll do very well. And people just make it more complicated than what it should be. Just get in front of the people that you know are doing well, which is the Google button will get you there, and, make rapport and make connections from that, because your net worth is, your community. It's just,
Right. And so, I mean, like, inaction, like, breeds fear and everything like that. So, just actually going out there and doing it, just get busy, right? Just get busy with
just
it.
get busy. The most important thing that I've realized is actually having a notebook with you. Write your goals down before the next day. And every goal that you write into your notebook every day, make sure to put in one of your goals in a notebook to write goals for the next day. And, write a letter to yourself at the end of that notebook, and you should do just fine. And you'll feel better, confidence, just better about yourself if you write in some sort of notebook, whatever you can afford to write in.
What was written in your notebook?
So what was written in my notebook is, first thing is to invest. So every morning I wake up, I invest something, whether if it's $10, $20, $1,000 or $10,000. That's part of my routine. I invest in something that I believe in, which is the crypto space. So I do that, and right afterwards, I make my bed. Right after I make my bed, I listen to motivation shit, such as Andrew Tate, whatever, just YouTube motivation. And you do that every day, you're actually putting a structure in within yourself to brainwash you to think to where you're going, because everything is brainwashing. Whether if you know it or not, you're being brainwashed. So the best thing to do, the best thing to do is to brainwash yourself into being successful.
Yes. Okay. So when you completed your courses and everything like that, what was your next step? I mean, obviously, like, you had your team or whatever, but for somebody that's like I said, like, new into the game, what would you recommend them to do after they get their real estate license? Finding a correct broker, finding the correct team, because we all know it's not where you go, it's who you're with.
Who you're with, exactly. So your best bet, like I said earlier, is utilize that Google button. Go by the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. See who's selling the most homes and get in contact with them.
And so, like, during those, like, early times, how did you, and even like today, even like, how did you separate yourself? Because we're in Houston, bro. Like, there's hella agents out there.
A lot of agents.
So how did you separate yourself? What's your niche? I see you posting on Instagram. You make cool little videos and stuff like that, even like skits.
Thank you.
But what would you say, like, separated yourself?
So what separated myself is not having a plan B. The plan B is the biggest scam. Always have plan A, and there's only plan A, and that is to succeed.
Okay, I got that. So, I mean, even finding a team, you go on Google, you do all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all on you, right? So you got into the door, but how did you market yourself?
How I market myself? That's a good question. How I market myself? I make it a routine and a part of my day to make aware of 10 people at least. I don't make anything unreasonable or anything too far-fetched. Every day, make a goal to at least let 10 people know that you're doing real estate.
I like that. And, like,
every day.
Serena Williams, she has a great quote. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals, and I try to ignore the rest. So people can be very fearful going into real estate, not knowing, what to expect. Mm-hmm. But like you just said, having a notebook, having those goals, you don't focus on what you're up against. I've always been taught, even in football, we're running down the sideline, you're a receiver. Yeah. You don't look back to see who's going to catch you, because if you look back, they're going to catch your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, I mean, you've got your coaches on the sideline that ran the right play for you. You just got to go, which you're your coach, right? Exactly. So making sure that everything is up in line. Don't, would you say, like, don't compare yourself to other people necessarily?
Yeah, never compare yourself to other people, although it is very important to compete.
For sure.
Because everybody wants what you want or what you have, whether if it's a girl, a car, or a house. That's why scarcity is a very big deal, and success is the biggest scarcity. So keep in mind that only 10% of people in the world have more than 80 grand in their whole entire net worth. So just keep in mind that everybody wants what you want, and therefore you have to have and establish a healthy competition.
Yeah. So going back to like, I guess, not being fearful and everything like that, even, people showing houses and everything and actually having a conversation with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever struggle talking to people and then you built yourself up, or you just say like you've always been kind of like a people person?
So I was actually never a people person. I've always struggled as far as in getting my message to go through, but that takes time. I really don't believe anybody is a people person at first.
I agree.
It's just regarding to make yourself like that. I see a lot of people that are in their regular 9 to 5s doing what they're doing. They're like, I'm just not a people person. But you were a people person in the first to even get the job at the get-go. Right. So in reality, you just have to condition yourself to be a people person and just to know how psychology works and to be yourself, just most importantly.
For sure. So you being with like the Gayden team and everything like that when you first started out, what you were mentioning earlier in the podcast, like just be somebody's bitch. So what bitch work were you doing basically? Maybe showing houses while somebody's off and busy, right? Because I'm sure, the top realtors are busy and you're like, hey, can I show this house for you? Or even it says like, going to a listing appointment or a buying consultation, looking at, how that actually operates. What was that work that you did that you didn't really like?
I would say really showing properties, period, especially with people that don't want to sign paperwork, people that don't really want to make a commitment with you because you're so new, and bet your ass they're going to go look at your track record. So to get around that, always looked at it to use someone else's name that you decide to work with, which is a good real estate agent that has sold a lot of homes, like I mentioned with the Google button. So therefore, it's really just doing the dirty work as far as in going to show the homes, and you don't know if they're going to buy or not, or if they're going to be able to afford it. Although you have to make sure they get it pre-approved, but that's not the right way to go about it before you meet with somebody. Right. So you always want to meet with somebody before they get pre-approved, just so you get to know them. Because it doesn't matter if they're going to buy right now or later on. It's just about getting your name out there.
Exactly, and showing your face and everything.
Correct.
And so we'll get into prospecting later in the show, but there's 3 things. Maybe you can't control everything. You can't control the knowledge you get. You can't control the intangibles. But I believe there's 3 things you can control, right? Your actions, your reactions, and your mindset.
Correct.
So starting off with your actions, what you do in the day. One of my bosses, he told me, your day is not won on the doors. It's before or after the doors that you win.
Correct.
So for you, what would you say that you did differently on the off hours that separated you a whole? Because we all have same 24 hours, right?
Correct. So regards to that, on being on the off hours, I don't take off hours. If I'm not productive one day, I feel like shit about myself. So no days off. Just keep in mind that the people
Except the Sabbath.
So just keep in mind that the people that you're competing with, because it's all competition, whether if you like it or not, if you don't think you're competing, you're going to get eaten up alive. They're going to sell that house before you sell that house. So just keep in mind that there's a person out there that's not taking a day off, and he's taking your money.
I mean, what were those actions that, helped you prepare though? Like, for me, I wake up in the morning, I pray to God, read my devotional, and then I read a book. And then after that, I go to the gym, I come back, I cook, and then I go to work. Right? So what did your mornings look like?
My morning was just chaos. So chaos guides me in the right direction. So I need to get these goals completed as fast as possible. Not too much about prayer. I do more action than anything. And God is very important. Prayer is very important. But I'm very emotionalist in regards to putting any type of prayer or faith into my system, how I run it. I do everything like it is my own destiny because I make my own destiny.
Guess. And then like your reactions, how do you react? Because like I try to, even like I door knock and stuff. So when I make a sale or when I don't make a sale, I try not to get emotionally attached. That's energy in motion. So how do you handle your emotions with this game? Your reactions.
So I look at it as us men. Emotions are put to the side. We aren't here to be happy. We are here for destiny. We are here for accomplishments. Genghis Khan, Rome.
Shit.
It's a huge, huge example. Us men, we're not meant to operate on our feelings. We operate it either way because discipline is everything.
For sure. Yeah, I think there's this tribe. It's like the Marai warriors or whatever. They're in Tanzania or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes them so great is that they can compartmentalize very well. So just like you said that we flip between the two from work and emotion, but a great Moroni warrior makes sure that they can separate their mindset from being tender, being gentle, but when the action calls for being utterly fierce and not violent but forceful, that's what makes them great. So I like that you said that.
Thank you.
And then like your mindset, like kind of talk us through how you've developed a bulletproof mindset.
So
maybe things you've gone through and stuff like that.
So I would say as far as in the bulletproof mindset, I just look at everything as my fault. Accountability is everything. So say if it rains, if I didn't bring my umbrella, I don't blame the rain. I blame myself for not bringing the umbrella. So I'm going to get wet in this motherfucker.
Right.
So as far as in everything that happens to me, whatever is going on, I can't control anything, but I already know there's one thing I can control, and that's my mindset. So therefore, whatever happens to me is because of me.
So moving on to prospecting and its laws, you got to prospect, you got to meet people to get them in your pipeline, right? And so I want to make sure that we understand how prospecting works and the laws that are with it, right? So
yes,
the first one being the law of need. The more you need something, the less you get it, right? That's what it states. The less likely you will get it.
Correct. So as far as the needing, just wanting something, don't want it. Manifest it. Speak it into existence. Never want anything, because if you want something, it's not going to go your way. Therefore, you're going to get pissed off because it's not going your way, and you're going to give up. The fuck? Just manifest it. Be like, I'm going to be rich, right? I will be a millionaire every fucking day until you become a millionaire. It's that simple.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like poor people choose now, rich people choose balance.
Exactly.
Right? So
yeah. There you go.
Rich people choose now. I mean, poor people choose now. Rich people choose balance. How are you going to balance your life?
So as far as in balancing it, work every day. That's your balance.
Exactly.
But you have to take care of yourself. So work every day, not just at work, but in the gym, in your health. Because better the gym, better your food, better your health, better your mind.
Yeah, so when people want to because I get people asking me how do I separate real estate life? And this is at the beginning, right? Or probably even at your stage in your career. But I mean, at the beginning, they're like, well, how do I even get my alone time? Like, where is me? Right? But you're saying, no, this is you now. Like, this is real estate. This is your life.
Yeah, alone time. That shit's kissed out. By the time you decide to go in business with yourself, whether if it's real estate or whatever, don't expect to even have a balanced life, if anything. Look at everybody with a balanced life. Where are they driving? Toyota, Nissan, maybe a Lexus, maybe a decent BMW. But the people that are driving the Ferraris, the Lambos, they don't have fucking balance. They don't.
No, I got you.
Yeah, there ain't no balance. The balance is just, hey, get your shit done. That's it.
Yeah. So knowing like the laws and everything and actually how that works, right? Knowing that, how did you begin to fill your pipeline, right? Did you go talk to people? Like, I'm sure you had multiple streams of how you reach people. What was that for you?
So wherever I would go, whatever I would do, always look snazzy, always have a blazer on. Since I was 21 years old, I would let people know what I was doing. I would always get their information. I would never give them a card because that shit's outdated as hell. Might as well not even have a card now these days. But I always let people know what I do. I get their information. And most importantly, I just build that relationship as far as just being their friend. Like, be good at making friends, be good at conversating or whatnot. Like, don't even try to sell them. Just let them know what you do. And that shit will come right back around with you.
Yeah. So like managing your pipeline and everything like that. I mean, any athlete, they're keeping track of their stats, because one, they got to know what they got to hit for their contract, and two, they got to know how they're actually performing.
Correct.
So I'm sure you did, but did you keep count of, how many leads, how many prospects, how many people you've talked to, how many hours, all these things? Did you keep track of that? Because I know I do,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's very important.
So with me, I would never really look back. I always focus on, hey, did I reach those 10 contacts today? Always look forward. I don't necessarily look so much back. Even with my spending, I don't look, hey, how much am I spending? I look at how much am I making? I don't have a spending problem. I have a money making problem. So I always look forward.
And so, like, with prospecting, everything like that, hitting the phones, knocking on the doors, sending emails, text messages, pounding LinkedIn, all those things. Did you do that or not really?
I did do that. So always explore all the ways and do everything that you can to get yourself out there. Although just keep in mind, more that you hit that wall, eventually a hole is going to come.
Yeah.
Eventually your fist is going to break right through it. So therefore, just make it as long as you contacted 10 people every day, you're on the right track. The shit's going to break.
For sure. And so I think another law that, people need to understand is the law of replacement, right? So if you have 30 leads and you're signing, if you're keeping track of how much you're closing and your signing percentage is 10% and you sell one out of those 30, that means you're left with 20 more prospects. So 10 of them got, deleted.
Yeah.
Right. So, how do you make sure that your pipeline's full? Because like once you sell that one and now you're down to 20, you got to make sure that you get 10 more back to your 30. So that way you're not losing your pipeline and you're not losing
Correct.
your next 30 days, your next 90 days of sales.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, going into the 3 Ps: procrastination, perfectionism, and paralysis from analysis. Where do you see a young agents, dealing with procrastination? Where do you see that most common?
I see that most common just everything in life. As far as with new agents, it's just with the younger generation. They're glorifying people, like big influencers are on there. Like, you don't need to get a job. You don't need to do this. You don't need to put in the work. Just work smarter. That doesn't exist. What they don't tell you is you need to work smarter and harder. Everybody's trying to leave the harder part out. You need to funnel everything you can do. You need to look at it like, hey, this is the only motherfucking opportunity I got. This is the only thing I can do. Like, I have nothing else. No college degree, which is I don't have. You just need to go balls deep and just keep on going. Keep on prospecting. Everybody you meet, let these motherfuckers know. Let them know what you do. And that's how you build a brand, and that's how you build yourself as just a good friend.
For sure.
And you'll do well. The money will follow.
I think that the second P, like perfectionism, follows behind that. Like being perfect is like not to be human at all. So
Yeah.
you chasing that is correlated with, you know, fear and failure, right?
So your goal isn't even to be perfect. So as far as in having that thought of perfection, throw that shit out the drain, because your mood's going to be different. Your health is going to be different every day. The weather is going to be different every day. Just be yourself and people will be able to connect with you because you'll be relatable as a person.
Do you see people in the industry like, you know, paralyzed from the analysis? Like they're so scared to like, I guess, pick up the phone, do this. Like like you got to tell them like, come on, man, let's do this. Like they're not doing it themselves. Like they can't get themselves out of bed. You got to like fucking help them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a lot of...
And before you get started, like,
Yeah.
if that is you, you should not be doing what you're doing.
No,
like,
no.
Quit now.
But unfortunately, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people that go into business with themselves are just like that. They're too scared to pick up the phone. They're too scared to do anything. I mean, what are you so scared about? What's making you so scared is your ego. Your ego's too big to where you're afraid to get rejected. So once you bring your ego down, rejection ain't nothing but a thing, baby.
Thanks. Once you realize that realization moment, your grain goes from there. So
yes, sir.
Moving on to like the investment side of things, I know you like to invest in everything like that. Where did you find yourself starting to invest that money that you did make from real estate? And like, what was your saving side? What was your your balance? I like to talk about balance.
So I wouldn't recommend it. I really had no balance by the time I was 22 years old. I just started going all into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So therefore, I would say approximately 90% of the money that I had since 2017 went all into crypto until now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You like, is it like 5 figures, 6 figure, 7?
It's $1 million.
It's $1 million up there.
Yeah.
Oh shit. And so like, what would you say you're investing in right now?
So what I'm invested in is XRP, Bitcoin, of course,
Put me on.
Ethereum, Solana, and HBAR, and Chainlink.
Yes. So like that's like your top list. Because I was gonna ask you like your big 3 investments. Like what would you say your big 3 are?
Yeah, my big 3 is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP.
Okay.
I don't know if that's big 4 or big 3.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know, and you're young, so regardless if we have balance or not, he's actually making it happen. A lot of people want the easy way, want it now. That's
Correct.
what poor people want. They want it now. But you obviously chose not balance, but you made it happen within a finite amount of time, right?
Yes.
So I mean, what were some of your big purchases? I know you got the R8. She's sexy.
Thank you.
Tell us more about like your other big purchases that you made so young and how were you able to do that?
So my other big purchases was so I bought my first home. I'm turning that into a rental property actually right now. I'll be moving into my brand new home in approximately 5 months. Okay. So therefore, right now, what I'm doing, I'm just going to have where there's about 4 to 5 months of cushion to where I could just save money without a house note. I'm going to be able to cash flow approximately $600 a month. I should be sitting very comfortably by the time I move into my new home.
That's good. So what would you recommend for like, someone that's actually made it into the real estate game, they're making money and they want to do what you're doing, right? Buy it, because I hear people all the time, oh, let's buy a home, rent it in Airbnb, or let's buy a home and find some roommates and they'll rent it from us. Everybody talks about it, but not everybody does it, right?
Correct.
So what was your, like, I know there's like a first home buyer, right, program, but how would you recommend someone wanting to buy their first home and how to look for that?
So I'd recommend just going new construction. Go like where a neighborhood's just starting. That's typically when you'll get the better prices. And live in it for 2 years, house hack it, have a roommate or somebody move in with you, and pay at least 1/3 of your mortgage, and therefore you'll be able to make money tax free. Get that shit under the table. milk that for about 2 or 3 years and move on to your next home. Next thing you know, you'll have a rental property. After everything is said and done, rents are going to go higher, but your mortgage is not going to go up much.
Gotcha. And then I have to wrap it up, I have a couple questions from a good friend of mine. Her name is Jessie. She's a real estate agent right now, Jessie Toro. And I've known her for a while now, but she's getting into the real estate game. She's a young gun, but some of her questions, and I'm going to read them to you right now.
Come on with it.
Let's see, let me find it. So, like, she was saying that the hardest thing for her is, concepting her age, actually, I guess, seeing that she is young and there are people that are much older, know much more about the industry. So from her perspective and her angle, how would you attack everything?
So she has to dress up as nice as possible, but professional, not thirst trap, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see thirst traps, or they're going to be wanting the wrong thing. She's going to be wasting her time. But as far as in the knowledge and everything goes, she just needs to learn as much as possible. And the best way to do that is to find some other boss chick that's out there that's doing real estate with that Google button, and then just copy and paste and learn from her and maybe work with her.
And then the last thing, I'm trying to read, she's writing a lot. Hold on. Okay, so making sure that you understand the contracts, right? So, to represent your client better.
Correct.
Are there courses that you recommend doing that to make, get a stronger in documentation and representation?
So not necessary courses. Just take some time to read over the contracts. And your best option is to hire a contract coordinator, which is that makes you look more successful and more professional, even when you let your clients know, okay, great, you want this in the contract, you want this or that. You know what? Let my assistant or my coordinator do it for us. That validates you, makes you look better to your clients. So therefore, in reality, fuck the paperwork. You don't need to touch it. Hire somebody else to do it. Focus on selling. Focus on being a people person. And yes, study the contracts.
Yeah. So when you first started out, obviously people don't have that much money, right? So maybe when you were starting out, what did that look like for you? Like how much people were you hiring actually? And how much did that cost you month to month so that you could balance it and actually scale your business? Because that's really what it is, scale your business.
So as far as when I first started doing contracts, believe it or not, I've never written a contract by myself.
Handicap ass motherfucker.
Yeah, literally. I don't like paperwork. Never been about it. Never about that. Gator don't play no shit. Yeah. So, I wasn't like that in high school or junior high or college. Never been about paperwork. So usually coordinators, they work on about $300 to $400 per transaction. Shit, if you're making $8,000, they take $400 or $300. What the hell is that? If anything, it made you look better, made everything go smoother, and had you to be unable to concentrate on getting more business.
Okay.
Paperwork, you as an agent, that's the least thing you need to worry about. Your goal is not to even touch paperwork as being an agent. Your goal is to, like I said, every day contact 10 new people about real estate, and all of it will flow in just like grass work.
That's what you did, like every day, 10 people, or is it
10
even
people
more?
every day.
Or more?
10 people every day.
10 people every day, okay.
Or maybe more, but 10 people every day for at least 98% of my life.
What do those conversations look like?
Simple as just sending them a video of what car was stood.
Okay, well, like your houses and everything like that.
Yep, simple. Just say, hey, how are you? How's the house doing? Or
what are you looking for?
Yeah, hey, do you know anybody that wants to sell or buy real estate? Hope you're doing well. Anything. Just make conversation. Sure. Right, hey, how's the family doing or whatnot? Especially your past clients. Most realtors, 99.9% of them, all of them, they think the job is done after they close them. No, that's generation of money that can go towards your family, because your goal is to get your family into real estate after you build a big empire. So that's the thing, to keep that family on it. Always follow up with them. It's just starting once you do the transaction.
For sure. And so, like, speaking of empire, like, and you were saying, like, manifest, like, take us through your manifestation and what that actually looked like. Because I do meditation every day. I think it is very powerful and, you know, planning your future in your head, and you can actually, you know, see yourself doing these actions so that when you do them, you're not surprised that, you know, oh, life's actually going well. No, fucking manifested that shit. So what did that look like for you?
Manifesting, I would say it all goes into your discipline and your habits. You know, where it goes back to your notebook. Write at least 10 goals on what you want to be and what you want to do for that day. And say if you finish all those goals, you'll feel good about yourself once you start drinking or you start smoking weed, whatever the fuck you do. But you'll feel better about yourself. You'll have a higher self-esteem. So it is very important. If you don't have a notebook, you're fucking up. Like, you're good luck. Good luck getting around this life. Good luck being a millionaire, being successful. If you don't have a fucking notebook, you're fucking up. Everybody that's a millionaire, everybody's doing very well. Bet your ass they have a notebook. Notebook is very important. Have your notebook on you, writing that shit every day. You can say you can type it, put it in the phone. It isn't the same. Your brain comprehends things differently and more deeper when you write it.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure. So to wrap things up, I mean, do you have anything else to say for the audience? Because I mean, you've dropped some gems. I love it.
Thank you. I would say, and that's really about it. Just do your best. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. Anybody that trashes you, simply doing a lot worse than you. And once you do get up there, once you do get very well on there, you'll realize the less people that you give a fuck about, because they have no amount to what you have. Nothing. So that's when you actually end up not really caring what they think about as better as you get. It's compound interest, and compound interest is everything. And once you realize compound interest, that's when you'll really level up in life. Compound interest is everything. It's the penny effect. For sure. That's what will get you there. It's compound interest. And the work on yourself, the work on your business, everything.
Compound everything. Compound your life, compound your passions, everything.
Yes.
I appreciate you for being here. I know we ran a little bit over time. Of course, yeah, hit a little bow and everything. But hopefully we can, you know, run it back eventually in the future.
Absolutely, man.
When you got a couple of properties on the beach, you know, chill out there.
Manifest
that
chill
shit.
Out there. Yeah.
But anyways, man, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys got some insight and some, you know, detail of how this game actually works, because it's not easy. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like in the other big cities, but, you know, Houston's big itself. So thank you guys, and we're H-Town, baby, forever. Let's go.